Hello and welcome. In this third video on the fundamentals of terminology work, we will introduce you to what good definitions look like. A clear and consistent approach to definitions is also essential for successful terminology work. Let's take a ride into this world with a bike. First, let's briefly recall the first two videos in which we introduced the terminological triangle, as well as synonyms, equivalents, and homonyms. A definition describes a concept itself, not a term. To clarify which concept is meant, we can use a context sentence, a graphic, or, ideally, a definition. Clear definitions are essential for a company to avoid misunderstandings and ensure a shared understanding. Now let's look at the definitions in our example. Two-wheeled vehicle that is propelled solely or mainly by the muscular energy of the person on that vehicle, in particular by means of pedals. This is an intentional definition from ISO. It consists of the superordinate concept, generic concept vehicle, which is distinguished from other types of vehicles by several delimiting characteristics. The characteristic two-wheeled excludes tricycles. Muscular energy excludes motorcycles and mopeds, but not e-bikes, since they are at least partially powered by muscle force. Pedals excludes balance bikes, motorcycles, and mopeds. Only bicycle and e-bike fully meet all of these criteria. According to California Vehicle Code 231, a bicycle is defined as: a bicycle is a device upon which a person may ride, propelled exclusively by human power, except as provided in section 312.5, through a belt, chain, or gears, and having one or more wheels. An electric bicycle is a bicycle. This is also an intentional definition, but it uses device as the superordinate concept rather than vehicle. This definition differs significantly from the ISO definition. The delimiting characteristic, one or more wheels, is very broad and only excludes devices without wheels. This is not as strong of a delimiting feature as ISO's two-wheeled. Instead of muscular energy, the definition uses exclusively by human power, which serves a similar purpose and excludes motorized vehicles. It does not mention pedals directly, but instead says upon which a person may ride, which is less precise. The delimiting characteristic through a belt, chain, or gears introduces a mechanical transmission requirement, further narrowing the definition. Lastly, the phrase, "an electric bicycle is a bicycle," highlights an important principle. Definitions must be updated regularly to reflect technical developments. This is one of the requirements of a good definition. Now a definition from WordReference. Vehicle with two wheels, pedals connected to the rear wheel by a chain, handlebars for steering, and a seat like a saddle. This is another intentional definition with vehicle as the superordinate concept. It also includes the delimiting characteristics with two wheels and pedals from the ISO definition and adds the following ones: seat like a saddle, which defines the seating style, and handlebars for steering. Both characteristics include all of these objects. A key requirement for good definitions is consistency in terminology when referring to related concepts. For instance, the ISO uses two-wheeled, while WordReference uses with two wheels. This should be standardized. The California Vehicle Code does not meet all the criteria for a good definition. One requirement is that the term in question should not appear in the definition itself. In this case, the term is bicycle. While it is not necessarily incorrect, the phrase "is a" can often be omitted. The ISO definition most accurately represents the concept of a bicycle. The term itself is not included. The delimiting characteristics are clearly and carefully chosen. According to ISO, a definition is a representation of a concept through an expression that describes it and differentiates it from related concepts. It clarifies the relationship between concepts. What other requirements do good definitions need to meet? As we've seen, creating good definitions requires effort. They must be regularly reviewed and updated. They should ensure consistent terminology across related concepts. For example, use vehicle instead of device. They should not be too narrow. For instance, they should not include air-tired, because some bicycles have wheels without air. A good definition should be as short as possible and as long as necessary. For example, seat like a saddle is unnecessary. You don't need to describe the seating style. Ideally, subject matter experts from different teams should review them and agree on consistent wording. Where possible, existing definitions should be used and cited alongside their source. Intentional definitions are preferable to other types of definitions because they clearly reveal the characteristics of a concept within a concept system. However, there are other types of definitions, such as extensional definitions, which list all the subordinate concepts of a superordinate concept based on one criterion of subdivision. As we can see from the previous examples, none of the definitions are purely content-based. Each contains elements of an extensional definition. Looking at the definitions from the ISO, the California Vehicle Code, and WordReference. Blue text highlights the content definition parts, such as by the muscular energy or which a person may ride. Green text shows the extensional elements, such as pedals, wheels, or handlebars. Clear definitions are essential in a company to avoid misunderstandings. Without terminology, artificial intelligence cannot optimally support your company.